What's up, you guys? So this is the next video on rating the first 151 Pokemon. So last night we were on Scyther. I'm pretty sure I said it was a 10 out of 10. Scyther is badass. I'm just gonna keep it real with you. Jinx. So I remember there being this thing about Jinx looking like Mr. Popo from Dragon Ball Z. Like people kept saying that all the time. And then I remember the original one had like a black face and people thought it was racist, so they changed her face color to purple. Um, the crazy thing about Jinx is it's actually a really freaking strong Pokemon. It being an Ice Psychic type is freaking amazing. Ice Psychic, that's just clean. I remember Lorelai, I believe, had that in. Yeah, Lorelai has one of those. Um, I like Jinx. I actually do like its design. I remember seeing it in the TV show. I remember there's the one episode with the Jinx, and I think it was the Christmas episode. I'm pretty sure it was a Christmas episode, and it was Jinx and it was like a Lapras or whatever. You know, there was two different Laprases I remember back in the day. Like Ash had like the kid one in the Orange Islands, but then there's also like the Lapras that was in that Christmas episode, and that one was like super big and it could talk. But Ash's Lapras was like it couldn't talk and shit. Um, yeah, Jinx, I'll give it 10 out of 10. I like Jinx personally. There's some people who probably say they don't really like how it looks. I think it looks really freaking cool. Electabuzz is awesome. 10 out of 10. I love how Electabuzz looks. There really ain't anything else I need to really say about it. Magmar actually is one of my personal favorites. And like I said in one of the past videos, I like when Ash's Charizard was fighting Magmar, Blaine's Magmar. That was really freaking cool. Pinsir was like an 8. Nah, Pinsir's like a 7. It's kind of cool. Tauros, like a 7. I do like the fact that like Ash got all of his Tauros from the freaking Safari Zone, and we like never seen that episode because the episode was only in Japanese, and it was because there was like this guy who kept pulling out a gun, even though we've seen Jesse and James pull out guns before. So I thought that was kind of random that they were kind of tripping about that gun. We also seen a gun in the one episode with Nurse Joy and the Growlithe. I remember seeing that. So I don't know why they banned that episode because of the gun. I guess they showed a gun too much, and they kept pointing the gun at Ash. But it's really strange that we never got to actually see the episode where he got all the Tauros, but we hear about them all the time in English. You know what I'm saying? That was also the episode where there was like the Dragonair under the water. So it was always weird to me that we never actually got to see the episodes, but we always saw like random scenes of it in the show. Like they would always talk about it. But I remember going back as a kid, being like 15 and going and actually looking that episode up because I was like, bro, I was like, when? I don't remember seeing that episode. But the weird thing about the old school Pokemon Indigo League is sometimes I'll go back and watch it, and there's like 5 or 6 episodes that I have never seen. And it might be because I have the little DVDs back here that I've watched like to death. But there's a lot of them that, I remember going back and watching it like 2 years ago. And there was a lot of episodes I did not remember. I'm like, when was this? So, one of my favorite ones is when we actually meet Lorelai, but she has an entirely different name in the Orange Islands. It was pretty cool. I think her name was Prima instead of Lorelai, which I thought was interesting. Let's see who else we got. We got Magikarp. I like Magikarp. I'll give Magikarp a 10 too. I like Magikarp because he literally does nothing. Gyarados, 10 out of 10. Lapras, 10 out of 10. I love Lapras. I also like the fact that in the games you can get a Lapras. I remember being in the Silphco when Team Rocket takes over, you get the freaking you get the Lapras. I thought that was pretty cool. I believe it was like from one of the workers inside of the place. So it makes sense that like in Heart Gold and Soul Silver, like Red has Lapras because technically you got a Lapras. And him having the Espeon when I was a kid, I was like confused by that a little bit. And then I remembered that you actually get an Eevee in the games too. And I was like, oh, so he just waited and ended up evolving his into an Espeon. I'm like, so that's cool. Ditto, 10 out of 10. Ditto was one of my favorites as a kid because I liked how it could transform into any Pokemon. I thought that was like the coolest thing ever. a Pokemon that could transform into any Pokemon. I mean, that's pretty dang cool, bro. And it matches their stats. That's pretty cool. Eevee, 30 out of 10. Who the freak does not like an Eevee? Eevee's one of my favorite Pokemon. But my number one favorite Pokemon, I mean, come on. Come on. You know, we already know. Glaceon is one of my favorite Pokemon of all time. Some people call it Glaceon. I've heard people call it Glaceon. I call it Glaceon because, you know, it's like glacier, Glaceon. It just seems like that fits better than Glaceon. But yeah, that's one of my favorite Pokemon of all time. But Eevee is like a 30 out of 10. I love Eevee. Vaporeon is like a 30 out of 10. Jolteon's like a 30 out of 10. Flareon is like a 30 out of 10. I'm also going off of the Pokemon cards because I have the Pokemon cards for Jolteon, Flareon, and I think I have a Vaporeon. Or Vaporeon. Yeah, Vaporeon. Because it's like vapors. Vaporeon. Yeah, I have like a Japanese Flareon card. I have a Jolteon Star card. I think I still have that. Porygon, I'll give it 10 because I like Porygon too. Porygon was one of my favorites as a kid too. I remember I got this book it was back when I was a kid. I got this book from one of them book fairs. They always had them book fairs when I was a kid. And I remember I used to always get the books because they would have these Pokemon books where it was like a Pokédex book, basically, where it would have all the Pokemon in the book. And I remember I had one, and it had up to like Hoenn, and it had like Deoxys, and it had, you know, from Johto, it had Celebi on there. It had Jirachi from Hoenn. It was just really cool to see all the legendaries and stuff. And I just really liked the book. I loved reading the little Pokédex entries. I don't think I have that no more, though. I don't have that no more. But it was something I really liked as a kid. Just like I was saying in the other video about the whole Spider Girl book. I really liked getting books from the book fairs. And whether it was Sonic, Spider-Man, or Pokemon, or anything like that. I don't think I ever saw Sonic. They might have Sonic, but I don't think I ever saw Sonic in the little book fairs at the schools. Omonti. I like fossil Pokemon. Like I said, there's a lot of Pokemon I like. Like, there's a lot of them where I'm like, oh, this is cool. One way I used to be able to tell if I really liked it or not is if I seen it in Pokemon Gold, Crystal, or Silver. I really liked the sprites in that game for some reason. That's like one of my favorite games when it comes to sprites. I just love how the Pokemon look in that game. Versus Red and Blue, where I don't really like how they look. I like the story and I like the Kanto region, but the Pokemon sprites didn't look that good in that game. But I remember Kabutops looking pretty cool, and Kabuto. So 10 out of 10 for them. I like Kabuto and Kabutops. And I like the Pokemon that start out as fossils and then you have to go to the like professors and get them turned into like real Pokemon now. You know, they take a fossil and they bring it back to life. Let's see, we got Aerodactyl, 10 out of 10. Aerodactyl's really freaking cool. I like how Lance has one. Snorlax, 10 out of 10. I remember Ash had the Snorlax in the Orange Islands where it was just going from island to island eating all the food. I love Snorlax, bro. 20 out of 10. I love Snorlax. Articuno, you know what I'm saying? 10 out of 10. I remember Articuno. I remember in Pokemon Red, Blue, and Yellow, there's a spot in the game where if you go through one of the little, you know how they have like the little, what are they even called? Like the little lobbies you go through where it's like you're in one area, you go through the lobby, go to the other area. There was like a lobby, I remember it. I'm pretty sure it was by Lieutenant Surge's town. You like go past the Diglett Cave, go past where all that grass is, and like over here there's like this little spot. I'm pretty sure. Wait, no. It's not that one. It's the one in Koga's town, I believe, where you go to the little lobby and then you go upstairs and you can look through these little goggles and it actually shows Articuno like flying around. Like I said, I really like birds. I do love Articuno. Did I ever catch all three of the birds in the old games? Zapdos. I remember having Zapdos. Did I catch Moltres? I can't remember if I caught it or not. I think I kept throwing the Pokeball and it kept saying, uh, what was it? Like back in the old game, you could it'll say like you missed the Pokemon. Like you'll throw the ball and say you missed the Pokemon. I can't remember. I think I did catch it because it was in the what's it called? The Elite Four cave or whatever. Victory Road. It was in Victory Road. Yeah, I caught. Yeah, I did catch it, but it took a while. I remember in Pokemon Blue though, I caught Mewtwo with a Pokeball. Not even lying to y'all. I threw it one time and caught it. And I did that little. People think this shit don't work, but I swear it worked for me. I pressed the down button and pressed B, and I caught Mewtwo. So if people say that don't work, hey, it worked. That one time I did that, I don't know why, but it worked. It was just a Pokeball. It wasn't an Ultra Ball. Wasn't a Great Ball. I don't know, but that worked. Damn, I should have saved that to the end because I'm almost to Mewtwo. But yeah, I always think it's pretty interesting that Moltres, they like changed where it was at in Pokemon Fire Red and Leaf Green. I remember playing those and being confused because I was like, "Where's Moltres at?" And then they actually moved it to the Sevii Islands, and I was like, "That's pretty cool." But yeah, Articuno like 20 out of 10. Zapdos, I used to have a Zapdos on my team on my Leaf Green back in the day. Zapdos is one of my favorite legendary birds. 20 out of 10. Moltres. I really like Firebirds. I like how it's like a phoenix basically. I like Ho-Oh too. Even though they're both just randomly Firebirds, but I guess it's like Ho-Oh is like a rainbow bird. Ho-Oh. Ho, my god. But yeah, it's like a rainbow bird, I guess. And Moltres is just a firebird. I give Moltres like I'll give it a 20 out of 10 too. I really like it. Dratini, one of my favorites. Dratini is priceless. That's what I'll say. I love Dragonair. I love Dragonite. They're like 100 out of 10. I love all three of them. I like how it starts out as a cute little blue dragon, little snake, and then it just becomes this giant orange dragon that's kind of derpy, but like in a good way. Dragonite has always been like derpy, but it looks cool at the same time. It's like I would give Dragonite the biggest hug. Like I love Ash's Dragonite and how it'd be hugging people because I would totally give my Dragonite a hug if I had a Dragonite. If I could have one in real life, I would most definitely give it a hug and be like, bro, you're my bestie. What was her name? Iris? Was it Iris? Let me see. She's like the champion in black and white too. Is it her? Yeah. She's like the champion in black and white too. I remember she had a Dragonite in black and white, and it was like hella angry, and it didn't listen to her. I like him too, though. He's kind of cute. I remember when Cynthia like tried to touch him, and he's like all, and then she's like petting him. He like calms down. I just love how he's just angry for no reason. Like, bro, like chill. But it's like for some reason I think he's cute at the same time. I remember when he was versing that bear tick, and he was like whooping its butt. Like it was freezing him and stuff, and he still, if I remember, he still beat it. I was like, what the hell? I love the anime because the anime be doing some wild stuff. You be having like Pokemon that shouldn't be able to win. Let's see, Mewtwo and Mew. So here's one thing about these guys that was always kind of weird to me is that Mew is 151 and Mewtwo is 150. But Mewtwo is a clone of Mew, so shouldn't Mewtwo be 151 and Mew be 150? But then I remember them saying that Mew is so undiscovered and so mysterious, and that's why it's 151, because it's so mysterious. Like, it's rarely seen by people. It can transform into different Pokemon, stuff like that. So I guess they have it as 151 because it's so mysterious. It's like a secret, mysterious Pokemon. Even though we know it exists, we see it in the opening in the TV show, you know, et cetera, et cetera. But I always thought it was weird, though, because Mewtwo is kind of, like, mysterious. Like, most people don't know who Mewtwo is. Like, in the Pokemon world, you know, when it first started in the Pokemon Indigo, nobody knew who Mewtwo was. You know, more people knew who Mew was than Mewtwo. I swear they did. And if I remember too, even in the movie, he erased like their memories and stuff. So the people that went to like that private island thing that he did don't even remember who he is, if I remember correctly. I'm pretty sure he deleted their memories, erased their memories. Again, I could be wrong about that. Y'all can correct me if you want to. I ain't tripping. There's also that like second Mewtwo movie. It's like it's not really like it's not even really a movie. It's like a little special. It's like a TV special kind of. Okay, I'm done with Kanto. So I guess we're gonna start Johto right now. Let's see. So Chikorita is one of my favorite grass types of all time. It's freaking adorable as hell. Like you can't tell me if Chikorita was real, you couldn't tell me you wouldn't want it like sitting in your lap and you would just hold it because it's a cute little baby. I know that's how people see Cyndaquil, and I think Cyndaquil is a cute, adorable little baby too. But Chikorita is so freaking cute. Like, bro, like, come on. Like, I don't like how grass starters don't be getting no love. Chikorita is a 10 out of 10 adorable grass starter. Bayleaf is so lovable, especially Ash's Bayleaf. It's so adorable and cute. I love how much it loves Ash. Meganium, I love Meganium. But my favorite starter of all time is freaking Totodile, of course, because Totodile was my very first starter. 1,000 out of 10. Priceless. Best starter ever. I don't care. I almost always used to get Totodile and name it Jet. Every single time. I used to give it Surf when you can get Surf after you beat like the kimono girls with the Eevees, and that old man gives you Surf. I used to always teach it Surf. Every time. Because Surf just goes hard. And I used to use Bite against the Ghost gym leader all the time. I just used the move Bite. Yeah, but let's see. Cyndaquil is probably one of the cutest starters of all time too. I'll give it a 10 out of 10. Quilava. There's people who say they don't really like Quilava. I think Quilava is cool. I remember having Quilava when I was playing Pokemon Silver version. I'll give Quilava a 10 out of 10. Typhlosion, 10 out of 10. He's like one of the coolest final evolutions back in the day. Feraligatr to me, priceless. One of the best freaking third evolutions of Pokemon. Period. Point blank. It's one of my favorites. Crocodile is really cute. I always love their battle cries too. The battle cries are really cool. Sentret, give it like a 6. Furret, I'll give it like a 7. Hoot, I'll give it a 5. Noxal, I'll give it a 5. Ladybug, I'll give it like a 6. Ladyann, I'll give it a 10. Because I always wanted one because I thought it was really freaking cute. And it looks kind of like it could be legendary low-key. It's really cute though. I'll give it a 10. Spinarak, I'll give it a 4. Nah, I'll give it a 5. Ariados, I'll give it an 8. Crobat, I'll give it a 10. Crobat is really freaking cool. Chinchou, like a 5. Lantern, 5. Pichu, 10. I love Pichu. It's freaking cute as hell. I would hold that and freaking pet it all the freaking time. It would be my little buddy. I would put it literally on my shoulder or put it on my head type shit. I'd be walking around with it. Cleffa is like a 5. Igglybuff is like a 5. Togepi is the GOAT. 10 out of 10. Togetic, 10 out of 10. Natu is like a 5. Xatu, it's like 6. Mareep is a 10. I always had a Mareep all the time. I used to get a Mareep and I used to name it Zappy. So 10 out of 10. Flaffy, 10 out of 10. And Foros, one of my favorite Pokemon of all time. Blossom, like a 5. How much time I got left? Okay. Ooh, hold on. That's gonna take a long time to download that video. But Blossom's like a 5. Meryl, like a 5. Azumarill, like 6. Sudowoodo, when I was a kid, I thought Sudowoodo was really cool. Now I think it's like a 6. But that's my first part of this series for the Johto part and the ending for the Kanto part. I'm just going to put rating Kanto and starting Johto. So like, comment, subscribe.